After I'd been in the profession of speaking for about 10 years, it occurred to me there were some patterns in what people expected and what people feared when they were dealing with a professional speaker. There were certain things they expected you to do, certain things they wanted you to do but weren't sure whether you did that or not, and then other things they wanted to make absolutely certain you were not going to do. So I created what I call my service commitment to you. In other words, here's what I will do when I speak for you, and here's what I won't do that you might be afraid of. Okay? So I put this into categories. In preparation, here are the things that I'll do. On site, once I arrive at your meeting, here's what I'll do. During my speech, here's what I will do. After my presentation, here's what I will do. And then after I get back home, here's what I will do. And so they knew, if they took the time to read this, exactly what to expect from me. And in doing so, they realized they were dealing with a professional and not with just some person who was an expert. See, there are many, many people who are experts on a particular subject that can do a good job telling about it. But that doesn't mean they're going to be professional in their dealings with you, that they're going to help with the success of your overall meeting. It just means that they know their subject well. I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm a good speaker. Who can I get to sell me?" I said, well, first off, if you can't sell you, forget it, because you're not going to be booked very often. But second of all, you say you're a good speaker. Are you a good speaker when the lights go out during the meeting? Are you a good speaker when the room's too hot or too cold and the audience is miserable and distracted? Are you a good speaker when the previous speaker ran 30 minutes overtime and now you have only 10 minutes for your 1-hour talk? Are you a good speaker when you're ill and you have to perform anyway? Are you a good speaker when other people have done something that changed the entire mood of the room and nobody wants to listen anymore? Are you a good speaker when the circumstances aren't good? See, that's the difference between a professional and a non-professional. So here's my commitment. Here's what Jim Cathcart will do for you before, during, and after his speech. In preparation, I will be available to discuss the plans for my speech. So we'll have time to talk about it. I will know what your organization does, who you are as a group, and why you do it. I will know why I am there, what my job is, and I'll have a specific plan to accomplish the goals you and I have agreed on for my presentation. I will know the theme, overall idea of your meeting, and I will relate my presentation to that. I will know why your people would want to hear what I have to say on this topic. I will coordinate with the other speakers on your program or with the Speakers Bureau or agent to assure that your goals are met, and I will notify you in advance of my travel itinerary so you know when I'll be arriving, where I'm coming from, how I'm traveling, and so forth. That's what I'll do in preparation. Here's my pledge to the client. Once I'm on site, I will notify you as soon as I arrive and contact you immediately if any delays occur. I will be available to you from the time I arrive until the time I leave. I'm here for you. I will, and this one's in all bold, tell you the truth 100% of the time. In other words, you know, because of this, if I say it, I mean it, and I'll do it or not do it, as I promised. I will retire early the night before my speech. Some people stay up late, some people go out and party, some people go down to the bar, and drink with everybody else, not me. I'm there professionally, I'm there to do a job, so I will go to bed early the night before my speech and be well rested. I will be reasonable and considerate in my use of room charges and incidental expenses. I won't be charging champagne to my room or having room service steak dinners for 5 or doing that sort of thing. I will be in the meeting room for a sound check, in other words, checking the microphone, the lighting, and everything, well before the time of my speech. I will coordinate with the setup crew, the people that put all that together, and the other presenters to make sure that my needs fit your overall needs. In other words, it won't be, I'm here, everybody pay attention to me. It'll be, I'm here. Let me know when I need to take care of details. Okay? I'll stay out of your way until it's my turn to speak. I will study your audience and the other speakers. I'll listen to the other speakers so that I can align my message with theirs more acutely. I will be dressed appropriately to the event, always just one step more formal than the audience. If the audience is in tuxedos, I'm going to be dressed in a tuxedo. If the audience is in business suits, I'll be in one of my better business suits. If they're dressed business casual, or they've got polo shirts and khakis on, then I'll be dressed like that, but just a little bit sharper so that I stand out as the speaker. I will provide an easy and brief introduction and be available to coach the person who's introducing me on how to deliver that in the best way. You see, most people who are introducers don't introduce people very often. That means they're not skilled at it. They've never thought it through as to what's the best way to do it. So they say, do you have something I can say about you? And they get the notes, and what they usually get is a CV, a curriculum vitae. In other words, a list of all the courses you've taken and the things you've graduated from and the certificates you've earned, which the audience only cares about in reading. They don't care to hear about it. All they want to know is, do you know what you're talking about? Should I listen to you? So my introduction is very simple and it's kind of fun. And I deliver it to the introducer in advance, and then I keep a spare copy in my pocket because the introducer invariably forgot and left it in their room. Right? Okay. I will make suggestions to the meeting crew as to how to maximize the audience impact of the use of visuals on the screen, lights, staging, sound, etc. I will be in the room, seated, and visible to you before my introduction begins. All of that is what I'll do before I even start speaking. During my presentation, I will walk on stage cheerfully and open my speech with energy and purpose. I will never use off-color language or material. No vulgarity, no insults. I will stick to my time frame and, if needed, adjust my time frame. Go a little longer, end it shorter, whatever. I will interact constantly with the audience and involve them through questions, show of hands, eye contact, exercises that they do as appropriate. I will present well-researched and profound information. I will use stories and humor liberally so that they enjoy it and they remember it vividly. I will use the appropriate slides like PowerPoint or audio recordings or video clips to add to the look, feel, and impact of my speech. I will react maturely, good-naturedly, and flexibly to problems that come up. This means audio-visual problems, lighting problems, sounds, emergencies. You know, if someone in the audience has an emergency or some problem comes up like that, I will not get angry. I will help. I will never, ever be rude to an audience member. I will treat them with respect. I'll allow for questions and comments from the audience while I'm presenting, not just at the end. If someone raises their hand, I'll pause and say yes and answer their question. I'll summarize my key points and give them ways to remember those points with a quick little checklist or a word or something that helps them remember. I will relate each of my points to your organization and your people. In other words, I'll present the information and then I'll say what this means to you is this. I will never abuse my assignment by turning it into a sales pitch for my other services. I'll tell about that if you want, but I won't turn my speech into a sales pitch. I'll only offer my books or recordings or training if it's approved and requested by you in advance. After my presentation, I will stay around for a while after my speech to answer questions and hear comments and be available to the audience briefly. I will check out of the hotel if I'm staying in a hotel and depart with you not having to worry about details. I will itemize my expenses if you need that and bill you promptly for any out-of-pocket expenses I have after my speech. I will provide receipts if you need receipts. I'll provide a copy of my slides for distribution to the people who have attended the event in a special document. I won't give them the slide presentation, but I'll give them the content that they can take home. I will promptly fill any orders for my training materials so that people aren't worried about waiting to get it. I will sign up audience members if they want for my email newsletter or my blog so they can continue the learning if desired. I'll suggest strategies to you to continue the learning from my message during your follow-up. Here's one I'll not do. I will never disclose any private information about your organization to other people. I will be willing to accept personal phone calls or emails to follow up on the speech from individual audience members or from your company leaders. In summary, I will deliver an exceptionally good presentation in a highly professional manner. That's my commitment to you. You see, by writing all this out and saying it to them and presenting it in writing, I'm telling them you can expect me to be one of the most professional, most customer-oriented speakers you've ever had. And I recommend that you give this service commitment to other speakers and suggest that they develop their own model to express the same thing. People want to know what are they going to get as an experience when they bring you in as their presenter.